Hello, UT 2024. Today we're going to be having another edition of one of our OA summer panels. Today we'll be chatting a little bit about getting involved and how to get involved on campus. But our role as orientation advisors, we're really here to help you all in your transition in coming to UT and welcoming you all to campus. But today we'll be chatting about getting involved, and I'd really love if everybody could introduce themselves quickly. I'll go first, but my name is India. I am a third-year BFA Theater Education major from San Antonio, Texas, and a few organizations that I'm involved with on campus are the Guides of Texas and the You Teach Fine Arts Student Advisory Council.
Hello, my name is Alexis Powell. I am a third-year Economics and French double major from San Antonio, and some of the things I'm involved in are Liberal Arts Pre-Med Society and Pilem de Kai.
Hello everyone, so my name is Bobby Serta. I am a second year Human Dimensions of Organizations major from Galveston, Texas. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am currently involved in a service organization called Circle K International, as well as the first year leadership organization under student government.
Hello everyone, I'm Desiree Morales. I'm a bilingual education major from Norfolk, Nebraska. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I am currently involved in Education Council, Minorities in Education, and the Hispanic Business Student Association. And I'm a community service chair within that one as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Layla, and I'm a second year math major. And some of my involvement is I'm in a sorority with leadership position. And I'm also an orientation advisor, as you can see here. And I also am an employee for Rec Sports, which is like the gym and everything.
Hello everyone, my name is Rane Proc. I'm also an orientation advisor. I am a third year humanities honors student, and I currently go by all pronouns. I'm from Woodville, Texas, and hopefully we can answer some of your questions.
Hi, I'm Jaden. I'm a second year double major in English and Spanish. I'm from Brownwood, Texas. He, him, his pronouns, and some of the things I'm involved in is Liberal Arts Council and Chi Alpha Christian Fellowship, as well as a new org that just started called Publishing Connection.
Awesome. Nice to meet everyone. But we have a few questions that we'll answer at this time, and feel free to throw any other questions that you might have in the comments of this video, and some OA will answer those for you. But first, how did you find out about the opportunities that you're currently involved in?
So right now I'm in a sorority, but I wasn't recruited. I heard about it through a friend because my first semester I was feeling pretty lonely. I had people who I shared classes with, but I didn't really have that specific friend group. So I reached out to somebody from high school, and she told me about an event for a sorority that week, and I didn't have anything else to do. I thought I'd give it a shot, so I went, and we saw each other, and we both ended up joining, and now they're like my best friends, and that has led me to volunteering and community service, and that was super fun. And I wouldn't have known if I didn't put myself out there first. And then another thing was I was just walking back to my dorm from a union movie, and this ministry group had a table of squishies, and I have two little sisters and they love squishies, so I thought, oh, I'll let them talk to me and get the little trinket. So they talked to me and ended up joining, and that's how I came to know so many of the outdoorsy opportunities in Austin. That's how I got to explore, and it was just super fun because that just gave me something else to do on the weekends, and we even had group dinners, which was really awesome, and I still talk to them. They're really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So kind of bouncing off of the organizations that I just mentioned that I was interested in. So the student organization fairs that we had on campus at both the beginning of the fall and the spring semester were really helpful for me personally in finding out what I wanted to be involved in. So the major organization, Service Circle K International, that I'm currently in, is actually an extension of a high school organization that I was in. So as I was like walking down the student organization fair and looking at all of the different tables, I saw the logo and I recognized it. And I was like, wait, like I've seen this before. So that was kind of like my cue to know that like I should definitely continue with this organization, and it's something that I already care about, so I could definitely further my experience with that. And then as far as the first year leadership organization with student government, it was also kind of through the student organization fair, but this one more of like striking out to me kind of like was other people like actually calling and being like, hey, stop by our table. So I stopped by the student government table, and basically they talked about ways for freshmen to get involved in student government. And really like the biggest way was to kind of fill out like the agency application as a first year student. And after reviewing all the agencies, first year leadership organization was just the one that like stuck out the most to me. So I applied, and like even going into my second year, I still plan to be involved in different ways. So it's just like a great way to kind of find resources that you'll be utilizing for your 4 years as a whole.
Awesome. Thank y'all for sharing. I too have found that a lot of opportunities come up in the most unexpected ways, and also the student organizations on Speedway can be a really great resource as well. But this next question I wanted to ask is, what does involvement look like beyond student organizations? And I believe Layla and Jaden will be answering those for us.
Okay, so being involved beyond student organizations could mean getting like a job, like I did, being an OA and being on rec sports. That's a really good way to be involved on campus. And even off campus, like some of the drag restaurants, those a lot of their employees are UT students. And you could also get involved in some sort of event planning or volunteering or student council. And you'll find flyers and tabling and posters for this like all over the place. It's going to be everywhere.
And getting involved beyond organizations also just means like more like an incredible amount of opportunities. So a lot of you incoming freshmen are going to be able to vote for the first time, which is so incredible and so exciting. So that's one thing to look forward to. There's also just like ways to explore Austin, like the parks, the trails, the hiking, the music festivals, some of the greatest coffee shops you'll ever visit, like ever. I learned about like going to these places through some campus resources, like the OSS office and like a Bauer building, the Liberal Arts Center, and you can just go there, like ask some advice or just like some resources. Another way is study abroad. Kind of just like looking at to study abroad programs. UT is a really great sender for study abroad students, and a good way to look out for that is I've always gone to Liberal Arts Career Services. So yeah, that's another great way to get involved beyond organizations. Start looking more into like what you want to do outside of Austin while you're in campus or while you're at UT.
Awesome. Thank you both for sharing. I think you both touched on something really important as well, is just a lot of those ways to get involved beyond student organizations is really utilizing the resources that UT has to offer, which could mean, just exploring different parts of Austin and getting involved in the community that way, but just really talking to people that are on campus too, which could be, professors, faculty, anyone you're seeing on campus are all great resources to do that. Our next question I'd like to ask is, how did you balance your involvement with school and other commitments as well?
A way that I really tried to work on balancing everything was making sure first that I didn't overcommit. Sometimes we go from high school being super involved with a lot of organizations and groups, and we feel that we should expect to do the same in college, but just trying out different things and seeing which ones you really would like to prioritize and seeing which ones fit best in your schedule is really important. But overall, I tried to carry a planner with me. I'm more of a written down person, so I would write everything down, just make notes throughout the day. A lot of my friends also use Google Calendar, and so they could just add it online or anything if they needed to. And another great resource was my FIG. They gave me lots of studying tips, ways to reach out to orgs and let them know that I just wouldn't want to be involved with them anymore. And that's totally normal. Don't feel like you have to show up to every single meeting. They will understand and know that you're a busy college student. And so, but overall for me, it was making sure I didn't overcommit.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what Desiree said about not committing. And at first, you have to get to know the time demands of the org, and then you got to see, and you have to look at it all at once and say, well, I'm not going to be able to do this. I have a test, and knowing that academics come first. Some of the things that really helped me were the Sanger Learning Center workshops, time management, and stress management. Just because time management, they really make you look at your day and say, well, I'm actually not putting as much time towards my studying as much as I should, or maybe I need to prioritize better. And just not overcommitting, because school comes first, and you're just one person.
Yeah, totally. Those are some great responses to hear from both of you. I totally agree as well, is that a planner can be an awesome resource to make sure that you're not overcommitting so that you can manage your time well. This is really going to be a time that you're going to figure out kind of those time management skills, but it is important to remember that you are a student first and foremost, and everything else that's going on, it is important to partake in those activities, but you just have to make sure you're prioritizing and looking out for yourself in the long run. But thank you both for sharing. Next, I'd love to ask, are there opportunities for involvement that can also support students' academic needs as well?
Yes, so I come from a 3A high school, and it's a really small town from where I'm coming from, so I'm not prepared for UT's coursework my first semester. And I really struggled in online psychology in particular my first semester, but it took a few failing quiz grades in order for me to finally understand it's okay to seek help. And so where I got my support was the Sanger Learning Center. Over there, they have peer academic coaches that just help you build study plans, teach you different strategies of taking notes and things like that. And you can make an appointment with the same coach throughout the semester. And so they'll be able to see your progress, and help you grow. And honestly, that really helped me pass psychology, and I actually ended up with a B in that class. And so for me, studying is a really long process for me to be able to learn. And so I went from B's and C's my first semester to finally all A's my third semester in college. But there's always support along the way, and it's absolutely okay to ask for help and seek tutoring.
A handy tool I utilized at UT was the University Writing Center. I always thought I made really good grades on my writing my essays and research papers in high school. But when I got to UT and I had to do my first research paper, I didn't even know where to start. So I used the Writing Center. I used the one over at the PCL. I just made an appointment, and they just helped me so much. I ended up getting an A on my paper, so I can't really complain about their service because they really helped me a lot. And there's different people to help you each visit. So if the first person didn't help you, you can always just come again, and someone else will be able to help you. So it was a great experience for me to use that.
Awesome. Thank you both for sharing. Yeah, that's one thing too that UT has no shortage of, is academic resources to assist our students as well. So that is definitely something to be thankful for as well as a student at UT. But next, I'd love to hear from Layla and Bobby on what should a student do if there is no organization for something they are interested in.
Okay, so my advice for this is to join a social organization, because despite what a lot of people think, those organizations usually have a lot of different types of people and do a lot of different types of things, rather than an organization that just has one particular interest. So even if there's nothing that you're interested in, you'll be able to find a group with different types of people.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely what Layla said was a great point. And kind of, even if as a first semester freshman, you're still kind of looking for an organization of something that you're interested in, really just continue looking. Like, even throughout your second semester, your second year, it's totally okay to not have like all of your organizations planned out as soon as you get onto campus. A lot of people don't really find the organizations that they actually make a community in into like deeper into their college career. But as far as once you get onto campus, just really make sure that you're checking and utilizing Horns Link as much as possible, because there's like sections on there where you can kind of like narrow down by interest and things like that. And it's just a great resource to kind of find organizations based on what you're interested in and find some friends that have like a shared interest in that same organization. And then if even after like all of this, you're still like, I'm not passionate about any of these and I just can't find something that I'm interested in, then make an organization. It's a super easy process here on campus, actually, and there's like resources that can definitely help you out. I'm not sure of the like exact like statistics and qualifications, but I do know that it's just like a certain minimum requirement of students and then like a small fee. And definitely like it is such a great opportunity to showcase your leadership, and it's not difficult at all.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing. And Bobby is right about that. If there isn't an organization that you find to be interesting, you can create your own. And like you said, all you need is a couple of friends, a few bucks, and I believe a faculty sponsor. But it is super easy. There are just a couple things we have to do. But this last question, I would love to hear from everyone. And it kind of goes off of this last one as well. But what would you say to a student who has not found their group early on in their first semester?
My best advice for this would be to keep looking your first semester. There's so many opportunities that you hear of, and you kind of get overwhelmed. And like I said earlier, you might want to go to all of them and feel like you have to commit. But you're gonna have that whole semester to just find your groove and find your group of people. Even though it seems like you might be alone and everyone else has already found their friends, trust me, you are not alone. Out of the 50,000 students, some people are still looking. Going into my sophomore year, I probably am still looking and might switch up some of the orgs I'm in. So don't feel any pressure that once like the groups that you find in that first week are the ones that you have to go. You definitely have time, and it's okay to just look around and switch things up.
Yes, for me, my suggestion is to join an organization of your interests. And just like Bobby said, Hornsleep is a really good resource to be able to find different orgs on campus. So for me, I joined Korean Music Association, and the reason why is because I really like Korean music and culture. And so because I was able to meet members in the org who have my same interests, I was able to find my group. And I also joined the dance team on that org as well. And so most of my friends are actually on my dance team just because we spend hours every week practicing together. And then also just getting out of your comfort zone. So maybe if you see an org that you haven't heard of before, but it seems interesting, go ahead and try it out. Because I did that my second year. I joined a martial arts club, and I've never done it before, but I'm glad that I actually tried it out because I met some new friends there as well.
Another thing that I wanted to mention about this is people look like they have their friend group, that they have like a solid friend group their first semester, but they're still developing their friendships. So don't be fooled by social media. In reality, everyone is still like trying to find their place, even if they are in an organization. And just keep trying, but do get involved in something from the start, even if it's not something you want to stick with. Just get involved with something from the start because it'll help make UT feel a little bit smaller.
Yeah, just kind of echoing what everyone else has said so far. I think college is kind of like the first point in your life where you really get to kind of like make your own timeline, and you don't really have to adhere by things that like other people are doing. Like, you know, in high school, like everyone gets out in 4 years, everyone kind of like does the own thing like at the same pace. But like in college, like it's all your life, it's all your own independence, and basically just kind of do things to the pace that like makes you happy and the pace that you're comfortable with. Don't feel like you need to get super involved in the first semester. If you feel like you need to focus on academics, then by all means, focus on academics and find organizations later. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, my first semester coming to UT, like from high school, I always just cared about academics my entire life. My social life wasn't a priority, like ever, not even like when I first came to UT. So I was never really a social person, more of like an introvert. So it was definitely a while before I like made like a group of friends. And even still, like my specific group, it kind of broad. So um, it it takes a while to get there, especially if you're more introverted. But my first like year as total opened me up so much. I'm much more like open like to talking to people. I'm much more like invested in meeting people more than I ever have. So it really just comes with like the experience of being like more independent, kind of like more responsibility, kind of becoming your own person. And so I think that's what like your first year should do for you. And once you're kind of figuring out who you are, what you like, what you like to talk about, it helps you meet your like people, meet your group as up in the process, and that's what happened to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100%, Jaden. I think the first year is about finding yourself, and it's your first time experiencing college, and you're not gonna do it perfectly. And personally, as I said earlier, I was one of the people who didn't find my group of people early on in the semester. I kind of had shallow friendships and stuff, but now I was able to make those deeper connections, especially being an OA. And I just hope that everyone can find themselves, but there's definitely no rush. College is what you make it.
Totally. I agree with so much of what all of you have already said. And I too, I remember coming in my first year as a freshman, I definitely did not find my group early on. So I would tell everybody who is an incoming freshman and transfer students as well. But, I would just say that it's totally fine if you're not finding your group of people that first semester you come in. It really is, college is really about finding yourself and seeing what you like and just learning more about who you are as a person. So I would say not to worry too much about it. Everything will fall into place eventually. And I think everybody else has said something that really I couldn't say better myself. But that will conclude our Q&A session on getting involved. We thank you all so much for joining us and hearing everything that we've had to say in terms of these questions that we've answered. But thank you all for coming, and we'll see you all soon.